Hello again everyone. Today you've joined me in Hereford. I'm on the Belmont stretch of the River Wye. I'm on the Asda bank and I'm opposite the rugby club that's in Hereford, and I'm not far from the Iron Bridge. It's the 1st of October, it's a Sunday, and I'm down here at around about 7:15 in the morning, so I've got up nice and early to come down here today. Hopefully you'll all enjoy this video. I'll see how it pans out. I've had a word with the bailiff just now. He'd come and had a look at my licence, so he was up nice and early as he usually is, and he informed me that the river has got a lot of bleak in it at the moment. So it is what it is, you know. You pay your money, you take your chance, so to speak. But next time you see me, I'll be fishing. But before I do that, I'll give you a quick pan around of where I am exactly. Okay, so this is the peg. There's my gear set up there. I got one of those side trays with a cover on the top of it, because I've learned at my expense, especially when you're fishing in shallower swims, because there's so many ducks and swans down here that you know, they'll eat all your bait. I'm just looking in the water now. There is a lot of small fish on the surface, so it does appear that the bailiff was correct, that the river is full of a lot of bleak. But you have to expect that when you come up on the River Wye anyway. You know, it is what it is. So be it if you catch a bleak. So what I'm going to start off with is, I'll put a bit of ground bait in to start off with. Try and get the bait down as much as I can. And I'm going to go through a few times with bread flake. And then after sort of about an hour or so, the plan is then is to change over and do a bit of feeder fishing for hopefully a barbel. If one doesn't turn up, it doesn't matter. It's just a day out, isn't it, at the end of the day, guys. So there is the old Iron Bridge in Hereford on the Belmont stretch. That's used to be a railway bridge, but now it's a footpath. The railway no longer runs along there. But it's a nice little stretch in general. Plenty of these platforms all around. I haven't actually counted how many there is here, but this is the match section. This is where they have a lot of the matches on this area here. And obviously they're more favoured by the guys because of the platforms themselves. Now, I don't know whether you're going to make this out. Just opposite me, that is a peg where you can see that sort of red lifeguard thing. It's like I think it's one of those red rings that they throw in the water should anyone be unfortunate enough to fall in the river. But just below that there's steps, so you can actually fish that area there. But I can assure you from my own experience, the banks are very muddy. It's still quite mild at the moment, and even when you get the colder months, you know, it's very soft underfoot. So that's another type of area that I would be interested in fishing. I go for the platforms, but even they can be treacherous. I know I'm like trying to sound a bit blimmin' down here, but you have to be careful, you really do, because I've ended up on my backside on these platforms because they're well used by fishermen, and when it gets wet these steps are full of mud, and it's so easy just to find yourself without you knowing on your back, which is what I've done. I'm lucky enough because it is like a bit of a guard on the bottom. It did prevent me from going in the water, but that can come as some shock to you, I can assure you. When you start up on the top of these steps, you bounce all the way down and then end up flat on that platform. It's not a good way to start fishing, so be careful when you come down here, guys. You know, watch these steps, and same with everything else on the river. You have to be careful because this stretch where I'm fishing now, even though it's down low now, it's probably 7 or 8 foot deep, and it can certainly go up to about 12, 13 foot deep here. So I'm going to start getting the rest of my gear, and then I'll see you on the bank shortly. Bye now. Okay guys, I haven't got a lot to report to you yet. I've had a small chub, and I very nearly landed a pike about 15 or 16 pounds just now. I did play the fish out. I was using a Cadence 14-foot match rod. So any of you guys out there that's got a mind to buy one of them, I can assure you any fish you want to catch up to at least 15 pounds, it's more than capable of dealing with it. So you intend going barbel fishing, or you intend going fishing for chub up to our record, you'll be alright with that rod, because I actually beat the chub, the pike itself. It was coming into the landing net, but it bit through the line, so, and then it made sort of a bit of a lunge, and then I lost it. So it's a bit of a shame, because I was ready to land it. Well, there we are. So I'll swap. Oh, sorry, I'll say that again. I'll swivel you round. I'll stop you first, and then I'll swivel you round to show you the river. So here's the River Wye, and I'm fishing out here, and I've been putting in ground bait. It's a roach mix, black roach, 2 bags of that. There's another black ground bait with it. I've also bought good soil mix in there as well, and I have laced that with bread flake. There's hemp in there, and there's also bits of sweet corn. I actually had the pike on a single piece of sweet corn. One thing there has been a lot of up to now is bleak. Now whether they're going to be a nuisance for the rest of the day, I've no idea. But I'll see if I can put that flow through. I think I actually need another bit of shot on this float at the moment, because it took most of my rig, the pike did, but it didn't take the float, but it took the rest of it. So that's gone out now. And I believe it is pike season now. It's when the pike are on the move, so they sort of come along with all the small fish that's coming up the river. So that is another little chublet, and they're not very big. So that's the second one I've had around about this size now. And they're not sort of enough of a size to cause you any kind of enjoyment, if you like. They're like the small ones I was catching. There we go. There's a chub. As I was saying, they're like the small ones I was catching on these stock feeder, that sort of size. But fish is a fish, you know. You can only do your best. I'm going to keep on going through like this for a while now, and then I may change over to pellets later on, because there are robin red pellets in with this ground bait mix as well, and there's also some halibut pellets in there, so it's a right old concoction. So I'm hoping it'll attract something sometime or other, but before that I'm going to have to put another shot on this float. So I'll get back to you later. Right guys, obviously you didn't hear that then. I just caught a chub around about 7 or 8 ounces on luncheon meat, so that's what I intend to fish with now for a while. So I'm using one of these bayonets again. I don't think you can go far wrong with them. They're like attached to a piece of line that is on the hook. So it's the same principle as what I showed you on Ain, the last video I did on the River Wye. Looks like there's a rugby match today with the youngsters. They're playing rugby opposite me. I don't think they've started the game yet, and I might be wrong. But I've seen them all going in with their kit on. You can't actually see where they are. You hear a bit of noise there. There is a bit of a rugby stand there, so I take it this is where Hennyford Rugby Club plays their games as well. For it to be a stand like that, it looks like it's a proper setup over there, not just a kick around like you get in most parks. It's a proper rugby football club, that is. So there's a lot of activity with the old canoeists going up and down today. Not much of an issue to me, as long as you're catching fish. You shouldn't let it bother you. You just wait for them to go past and then run the float past. So I'll get on my fishing again, and hopefully I'll show you a fish in a sec. But that, unfortunately, I did have the fish showing the camera, but again, I never had the camera turned on. So catch you again soon. And just by the way of reference, that pike I was attached to earlier on has just showed itself up in the slack in the side. So he's still floating around. Well, I'll see if I can turn you around again and show you actually where I'm fishing. So I'll stop you a second. Right. I'll expand that a bit. Hopefully you can pick up that float. It was a little bit further out where I had that last chub. Somebody got a little gold it there. There's a couple of fish interested in that bait now going through there. But there is one heck of a lot of bleak in the river at the moment, so any of you guys that's interested in fishing this match sesh, be aware, if you want to be your best days fishing, you'd be better off going, from what I can see at the moment, bringing a whip up here, going through with a whip. Because apparently most of the matchways that showed up on Wednesday were from the guys using the whip. Well, there are a couple of guys below me and they're using a whip today. So that float went under then, so hopefully I'm actually dragging the bottom now. I think I was slightly short of it earlier on. There we are, that's a bit better. You see the water a bit better now. And hopefully you'll be able to see my float a bit better as well, which is the main objective. sure a lot of you guys that fish this river regular up here at Hereford, you'll all be screaming out, no, get the whip out, but I have got a whip. It's not with me today. It's not a thing I want to do if I can help it. It's a last resort for me using a whip. I just rather have a day's fishing, catching something which I have a chance of getting something decent rather than using just have my first snag then on a branch. First time that happened. All's good, he's back out again. Well, I do feel like I'd like to step the feed up here. Especially after I had that shot. So I might start coming in slightly closer, which will make it easier for me to actually fish. So I'll knock you off a sec, because all you're doing at the moment is just looking at the river. Hey guys, I think that's opposite me is a couple of the cadence experts that come up the river. May well be James Robbins in the blue and black. And I believe that's another one of the cadence all stars as well as fishing with him. They're probably doing a practice match on one of the matches that's up and coming this weekend, I expect. There's another guy, and they're all fishing for bleak at the moment. As I said earlier on, that's not what I've come up here for. So here's a better view. There you go. Anyway guys, enough of them. I haven't come up here to watch them. So guys, for the last pad of this trip, on the Belmont section, on the Asda Bank, opposite the rugby club, because I'm not down opposite the rowing club this time, I'm going to have a little go at feeder fishing, and that'll probably be the last thing I do today before I pack up. I've had sort of about 14, maybe 15 small chubbers, but they sort of been that size, they've been small. One better fish, which was sort of about maybe half to 3/4 pound, around about that size. I don't know what that looks like on the camera, but if I can put it into perspective, it's sort of around about 10 to 12 inches long, I suppose, and that's not a very big chub. No, the highlight of my day, if you can call it that, was making contact with that pike. Because I mean, I had a good look at the fish, it was at least 15 pound, and I caught it on the Cadence rod, which I've packed up now, Cadence match rod. I think it's the number 2 match rod, I may be mistaken, because they've got all sorts of different grading, sort of 1 for light float fishing, then 2 and 3. I think 3 being the strongest of the rods, but they do sort of go progressively heavier as well. So to hold, that is. So that's what I've been fishing with today, and that's what I've had all the small chublets on. Most of those fish came down by a bush that you can see down below me, and the better one, typical of fishing, isn't it? That sort of come about, I'd say, a third of the way across the river. But I literally, because I bombed in, I intended doing this as well. I bombed in a load of ground bait, made balls of it up and threw about 5 or 6 in to start off with, and then as I was fishing away, sort of just short of the middle, I'd say it was, I was topping it up with the odd balls, but it's just full of bleak in this river now. I mean, the bleak were giving me a dog's life, even though I was fishing with luncheon meat on the hook, and I did try pellets as well. But this is what happened, because you put the ground bait in, you get the pike and you get the bleak. So I don't know whether that's going to pan out the same though, because I'm back on the ground bait again. I haven't cast out yet at all. No. This rod I got is called a Super Lister. It's 12 foot long. That's my setup. This runs between one of those beads that is a swivel bead on the end, and I've got a stop knot that runs up and down the line. But what I've done is I've made a loop, which the feeder itself runs in along this loop on a bead, and then it hits a knot there, because that's where the loop ends. But it can go past that loop and onto there. If you pull it a bit, it'll actually go past the knot. It's like a semi-fixed rig, if you like. Semi-fixed boat rig, I suppose you'd call it. And I've got a rather large hook on, but I had set the hook with a rubber band on it to fish with pellets. Now that option could still be open to me, so what I'm going to try and do is fish with a larger piece of luncheon meat, because I've got 2 different sizes with me today. I've got like small pieces of luncheon meat, which I've been catching the smaller chub on, but I've also got some bigger pieces. And these have been in my freezer, so I needed to use them up anyway, because this is what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to go through the stuff that I've got in my freezer that's been in there for some time, but it does need a good clear out. So as you can see, it's a fair old chunk of luncheon meat, and this is a size, I'm sure it's about a size 8 hook. So that's what it looks like. As you can see, it's a fair old lump. I've left the band on there for the time being because I may try a halibut pellet later on. But that's the rig for now, and I'm going to cast out. If there's any news, I'll put you back on, and if there's not, you know that this hasn't been successful, I might pack that. But I am hopeful to catch something on it, but I'll get back to you later. Just a point of interest for you guys, whether you can make that out there. Now that is the type of branches that comes down the River Wye. Now that's sort of a limb of a tree, and if that catches in your line, you can say goodbye to your float, your feeder and everything else you've got. Okay guys, so I'm just about to bring these fish to the surface. I may just show you them in the net, and then I'll be on my way then. So there's quite a few little chublets in here as it happens. So hopefully you can make these out this time. So there they are guys, that's all a little chublets, one decent one, and the rest of them pretty small, but I've probably got about 15 to 16 smaller ones and one better one, about 3/4 of a pound. So I'll return these and then I'll get back to you. Yeah, so there's the videos. I think what it was at a different lens setting. It was at the higher lens setting, so it made the swans look out of focus. So that's the end of my day. Not an eventful day. I've had in the background a game of rugby going on. Plenty of canoeists going up and down. James Robbins on the opposite side. Not in that peg there, but in the one below. Sorry, not even that peg, because there was a young lad, and I think he's an international angler, and James Robbins was fishing in that peg just above the angle you can see in focus now. So that was where James Robbins was fishing. There was an international angler there, and on this peg he's one of the ambassadors, I think, for Cadence. So he was fishing in there, and the three of them were bleak fishing. But the international angler had a go for chub. He bowled in the same as what I did, and the first fish he had was sort of about 3/4 of a pound, and then he started catching a small chub like I was catching. And the trouble is once you get all the bleak in the swim, you've got a hell of a job to get through them, and that's exactly what happened. Even with Clive Robbins, not say Clive Robbins, James Robbins, I beg your pardon. Even with James Robbins feeding for him, he had bleak in the middle of the river as well. So that's what we're dealing with at the moment. There's bleak everywhere. There are a few fish in between. A guy that fishes down here regular was fishing in the side, and he did have a couple of perch. I think he had the odd roach as well. but as far as I know they weren't very big fish. Didn't make out to me they were of any consequence anyway. So there we are, guys. There's the old iron bridge again, one last look. So this is my second time that I fished this river this season. First time was a little bit more successful than today. I think I probably had about my 5 pounder or so of fish. Not the best day I've had on here by a long way. You can only do your best. I wasn't prepared to go for the bleak like a lot of anglers do. So I'll not right. So what I was saying is I'm not prepared to go for the bleak like the other anglers do on here. They all seem to be gearing up now for another match on here. The match last Wednesday was one with a mixed bag of fish. Some people did have a couple of chub, but I believe they were further down the river, right down the other end of the river. I'm not completely sure about that, but up here as well I think somebody had a net, but I think it was one with about 60 pound, but there was a lot of bleak in that, a heck of a lot of bleak, and just the odd chub here and there. So that's what you got on the river. Anyway, guys, catch you all again. I've already said about subscribing to the channel and give me a thumbs up for a like, obviously, and hitting the notification bell to be notified of any up and coming videos. I have to mention that because if you want to grow your channel on YouTube or anywhere else, you have to sort of promote yourself in some way or form just to get the figures up. So there we are, that's the end of that blog. Catch you again soon on the bank, and everyone take care. Be careful when you're coming down here, like I said earlier on, very slippery, banks can be treacherous. A well-known angler, Clive Branson, he's been in this river a couple of times and he probably knows the river as good as most people. So if he's going to fall in you, what chance have the rest of us got? So there we are, guys. That's it for me. Anyway, bye for now.